Question. If we were to give Star Wars characters Pokemon typings, what would they be? I was watching the first Pokemon movie a few weeks ago with friends, and I had the thought, if Star Wars characters had Pokemon types, what would they be? So I then proceeded to do about 30 minutes of critical thinking over the next week and put the results down into my notes app, and now I'm going to tell you what I came up with. The first character I thought of, because it was probably the most easiest one to come up with, was Palpatine. Considering he is the Dark Lord of the Sith and his favourite move to spam is his typing will probably be Dark and Lightning. The next character is Luke Skywalker, who I actually had a pretty hard time trying to figure out what his typing would be. At first I thought he would be fighting, but the more I thought about Luke and his character, he's more of a diplomatic person and he wants to solve things by talking, and violence would be a last resort. Just look at Return of the Jedi.
I know there is good in you. The Emperor hasn't driven it from you fully.
You don't know the power of the dark side. I must obey my master.
I will not turn, and you'll be forced to kill me.
If that is your destiny.
He wants to talk to his father and he surrenders himself because he doesn't want to fight his father. He doesn't want to go down into the dark side. So the typing I gave Luke is psychic and normal. I know that might be a wild thing to say, to put Luke in normal, but to me that's just what makes the most sense. He is the hero's journey character. He is a self-insert for George Lucas. It's the typing that just makes the most sense to me. And psychic, obviously, because he's a Jedi, he has the Force. Now, speaking of Darth Vader, I think it's fair to say that no one will argue he is a dark type. He is the most infamous character in all of Star Wars. People are scared to death whenever he shows up. You get the point. Darth Vader is a dark type. The other type that Darth Vader is that I think no one should have a problem with is fighting. He spends 20 years fighting for the Empire. So I think Darth Vader being a dark fighting type is pretty fair. The next character is Anakin. And before you say Darth Vader and Anakin are the same character, shut up. I know there's arguments to be made for both sides, but Anakin or Darth Vader literally says,
Anakin's gone. I'm what remains.
Telling Obi-Wan canonically that they are different characters, so I'm doing Anakin. And the typing I'm giving him is psychic, obviously because he's a Jedi, but also dragon. Dragon types are classified by their immense power and legendary status, and tell me that is not Anakin. There is also the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin himself refers to the anger, fear, and darkness within himself as the dragon. So Anakin himself is calling himself a dragon, which is fucking cool. Alright, rounding out the Skywalker saga of this video, we have Leia and Padme. I'm putting them together because they have the same typing of fairy and fighting. I feel like this doesn't need much explanation. Every time these two characters are on screen, they are fighting for what they believe in, and you're telling me they are both royalty, one being a princess and the other being a queen? Padme's outfits could be classified as fairy type by themselves. So I think the typing of fighting and fairy fits them both perfectly. Two other characters I'm giving the same typing to is Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. Which, given what we know about Mandalorians, shouldn't be surprised that I'm putting them in steel and fighting. I did want to give them flying because, but usually when they're using their jetpacks, they are using it to fight someone. So I think it makes more sense for them to be in fighting. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan is a Jedi, so he's probably going to be a psychic like the other Jedis or Force users. It just makes the most sense for them. The other type I would give him is ground.
I have the high ground!
All jokes aside, Obi-Wan Kenobi is probably the most grounded character in all of Star Wars. The Cambridge Dictionary describes grounded as someone who is grounded, makes good decisions, and does not say or do stupid things. Do you know who that sounds like?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I know it sounds like I'm making a joke out of this, but I'm not. Obi-Wan does say,
Blast, this is why I hate flying.
Obi-Wan is a ground type. The next character, who I think doesn't need much of a debate of what their type is Han Solo.
I'm Solo, I'm Han Solo, I'm Han Solo, I'm Han Solo, Solo.
You take a second to look at what his character is. He is a pilot and he's fighting the Empire. flying and fighting. I don't think there is any other type that would fit him as well as these two do. Now on to Han's best friend, Chewie, who is essentially Star Wars' version of Ursula. So I'm going to give him normal type, but I'm also going to give him grass because he comes from Kashyyyk, which is basically a forest planet. So that's my list. Let me know what you think and if you give the characters any other typings than what I gave. I'd love to do a part 2, so let me know what characters I should do next, and I'll see you next time.